The Green Bay Packers at 4-7 traveling to Philadelphia to take on the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles favorites here by 7 points with an over-under of 46.5. You can take down the graphic because I want to see your beautiful face.
I already did it.
Oh, well,
I'm on it.
This guy, he really should just take my job. Hey, you want a job? CBS is hiring. You can take my job. All right, Packers, Eagles here. 7-point favorites for the Eagles. 7-point dogs is what really comes down to for the Packers on the road. In that nice, I don't want to say it's the primetime spot, but that 4:25 spot, that 4:00 start for the. Oh, it is prime time. It is prime.
God, what
I'm
is
all thrown
wrong
off.
with you?
Prime time game. 7-point dogs for the Falcons. Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. Slow down and shut up and gather your thoughts. 7-point dog for the Green Bay Packers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football on NBC at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Vinny, how do you think Philly is? Do you want to switch roles here? Like,
I would switch our views, but my StreamYard's broken. All right. Eagles favorites in this one. Packers dogs. We talked about it, and I've gotten a sense of a theme for this show when we're talking about these certain teams that you give me dead voice. When we talk about the Broncos, when we talk about the Packers, when we talk about the not the Chargers, but when we talk about these certain teams that have not lived up to the expectations, you give me dead voice. And I feel like that's where you would go with the Packers because you've already given your eulogy for the Green Bay Packers 2 weeks ago. If you missed it, go check it out. The Packers are dead. Let's talk about the Eagles here, though. They enter this game 9-1. They lost to the Commanders on Monday Night Football 2 weeks ago and then had a knockout drag out between them and the Colts last week. Are we starting to see a little bit of cracks in the armor for the Philadelphia Eagles? I know it was just against the Colts and against the Commanders, but are we starting to see what maybe we're expecting to see, like the cracks in the armor? Are we starting to see it?
Yeah, I think we are, but not in a bad way. Like every team has to go through something like this. Every team has to have some adversity and be able to get through it. We're seeing it with Buffalo right now in some of their close games with not, inferior teams. We've seen it with Kansas City. It's part of what your journey is through the season. So, I do think there's been some chinks. The run defense has been poor. Even the Colts game, Jonathan Taylor, the very first drive, went right down the field, punched one in, and I'm like, yeah, they missed Jordan Davis. And that was with Ndamukong Suh being there. I forget his name. Big boy, he used to play for the Vikings. I forget what his name is, but they signed him too.
Linval Joseph.
So they knew that they had a hole in the middle and they needed to address it. And it's still, obviously, it's not Jordan Davis. So that's something you look for other teams to start exploiting. And I think the Colts did exactly what the Washington Commanders did on Monday night. They tried to beat them the same way and almost got it done. I think it's a copycat league, and we know that about the NFL. I expect more teams to come out and do what those teams did. So, yeah, chinks in the armor, but I think it's good for Philly because if they would have just went into the playoffs undefeated, never really having faced anybody or faced adversity, I think that's when it's a recipe for disaster. Let's be honest. Philadelphia Eagles and the NFC East in general have a very easy schedule. Their schedule is very, very easy. These next couple of games, though, I do think there's going to be some more testing of the Philadelphia Eagles. And I get it. I've written the eulogy of the Packers. But at the end of the day, the Green Bay Packers are still the Green Bay Packers, and they still have Aaron Rodgers. And you have a quarterback. You have a chance to make something happen. And I'm rooting on the Packers. You know that. I'm a Cowboys fan. But I do think Philly's the better team here. But it's not just that game. It's then you have to play the Titans. We know what kind of game that's going to be. Physical, grind it out. You go at New York, division game. At Chicago in December. Who knows what the weather's going to be like. At Dallas, 3 straight road games. Like right now, they're going to face some adversity. This is where Philly goes from a 1-loss team to probably a 2 or 3-loss team at some point in time. It's can they withstand those games? Can they pull out the win like they did with the Colts? And if they can, then they're going to be better off in the long run. And even if they can't, they've at least seen it and know what to expect in the long run. So I'm not going to overreact to them winning or losing a game, but I do think this is a pivotal part of their schedule and seeing what they're going to be able to do in the playoffs, because that's really what this boils down to. Nobody cares that Philly has a bunch of wins now if they can't win in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they win here though. Oh man, give me the Packers on the upset. Give me the Packers on the upset here. 26-23 Packers.
Yeah,
no logic behind it.
I don't like that soft defense. I don't like that soft defense of the Packers. I'm going to take Philly here. I think they find a way to get it done. I think they put up 30 against the Green Bay Packers. I think the Green Bay Packers just aren't it. I hope you're right, but I'll take Philly here, 30-23.
That's fair. That's fair. And again, I don't. And it's a little bit of it might be a stretch, but it's just one of those feelings. Whenever you have whenever you have one of those feelings, something that needs to be noted that we didn't discuss before we end this clip. Aaron Rodgers announced this week that he's playing with a broken right thumb since week 5 in his throwing hand. That's actually not good, Bob. That's not good at all. But give me the Packers here on the upset, 26-23 Packers.